episode 209 of the All the Books Show, recorded at the David A. Howe Public Library. We talk book news, author news, and literary news, but we're not talking about any of that today.
None of that. Scrap it.
Though sometimes musical artists can win the Nobel Prize
That's
for
true.
literature.
That's true. Bob Dylan did it.
We didn't see Bob Dylan.
We didn't.
Why don't you talk about
I hear
what
it's a 50-50 with seeing Bob Dylan live.
Yeah.
Either you get a good show or you get like a, what was that?
Yeah.
Kind of like I had with Brian Wilson, but that's a spoiler, so
Yeah.
we'll get into it.
Sizzle.
Boy, this has been the
Sizzle.
the summer of concerts for
some
you
could
and me.
say it's been the summer of 69.
Yeah. That's actually relevant, too. That's a spoiler for later on.
Yeah.
Eric and I saw so many concerts, some together, some apart,
Yeah.
ranging from new hip acts
Right.
to older stalwarts of
New
yesteryear.
hip acts.
Do we not?
I can't think of a single new hip act we saw.
Okay, I guess. I guess you're right. But we had a good time.
Does Keith Richards still have a hip?
Well, not original, but you know.
Okay.
So we went to so many concerts, and each time we recorded a little bit, some before and after, some just after, and just to give you a little taste of some of the concerts that have been in our area this year. And remember, we have Friggle Music Service where you can download songs from most of these artists, and we have an epic CD collection right here in the David A. Howe Public Library. So
You just used the epic.
well, I'm talking about CDs.
Yeah,
I guess I
yeah.
thought it was on point.
Okay, sure.
Are these in chronological order?
I think so.
Okay,
if
we
not, epic fail.
Whoa. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, should we just dive in?
Yeah.
Take it away.
It's an All the Books remote. Eric, how are you?
I'm great.
Are you? Because you seem a little testy.
Stop it.
Okay, sorry.
I'm fine.
Eric and I are here at Art Park
The
in...
site showed a different seating chart than the one that was actually provided to us, so it's a bit confusing.
There was a slight confusion on where our seats would be located, but we're here seeing Weird Al Yankovic.
Is it Yankovic?
Isn't
I
it?
always say Yankovic.
Well, I don't
guess
know.
I'm an idiot.
I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
we'll check that out. But anyway, yeah, we're here. We've got lawn seating, and the lawn is sort of like at a harsh diagonal looking directly into the sun.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you look on the website, it
looks like
showed that it was kind of a circle around, semicircle
Yeah.
around the arena.
Yeah.
But we are, in fact, to the harsh left of it.
I think I'll blame Vivid Seats, the app I used.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's true. When you go to this Art Park website, it does clearly show this setup. But even so, the location is unpleasant.
It's weird.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, tell me this. What's your history with Weird Al?
Really?
Yeah.
Geez, Louise. I guess year 2000, my friend introduced me to Running with Scissors because of the Star Wars parody, the long time ago, the Episode 1 parody. Let me borrow his CD. Just listen to it. I gotta tell you, I probably listened to more Weird Al music before I actually had any actual taste in music.
You know, I will say a lot of the medleys, like the Polka Power and stuff.
Yeah.
I was hearing those songs for the first time with Weird Al.
Yeah, I can say the same thing. A lot of songs I heard Weird Al's version first and then came to it later. Even the Chili Peppers. I even heard Give It Away Now, the Flintstone parody, before I heard the Chili Peppers version.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. My history goes back farther. My friend Brandon, shout out to my friend Brandon Earls, who I also saw Crisscross with randomly.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Jump?
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. He had the Alapalooza on cassette, I'm pretty sure. That was what, 90? 94? Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that would be like 94.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So Brandon had that, and we listened to that album nonstop.
Yeah, I had that one.
My grandma would always try to get me to sing the Flintstone song for her friends.
Oh, that's... Okay.
It's a fully true story.
Yeah. People always act like I have a lot of Weird Al CDs, and I'm just like, I have 6. That doesn't seem like a lot.
It's a decent.
Okay.
It's a decent collection. You know, but outside of just the random like songs I know, Alapalooza is the only album that I've like listened to multiple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've listened to them a lot.
I've always been like a fan, but not like an aficionado like you.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah.
Anyway, so
Have you seen UHF?
no, I haven't.
Oh, it's pretty funny. Kramer's in it. You like Kramer?
Like Michael Richards?
Yeah.
Kramer? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He doesn't talk a lot, so there's no chance for a racial slur to come out of his mouth
Yeah.
in that film.
It's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But wasn't there also like a Weird Al TV show?
I think so.
Okay, you don't know anything. So anyway, the weather's cooling down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We got a cool breeze coming in. I had a decent pizza, a terrible frozen lemonade.
Aladdin Jr. is going to be played here? What does that mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had a pretty good funnel cake.
Okay. All right. So things are looking up. Our seats are crappy. We're looking directly into the sun, but we're
If the clouds show up to block the sun a little bit, our seats are actually pretty okay for lawn seats.
Okay.
We got a pretty good view.
yeah. I guess that's fair. It's good attitude. Good attitude to have. All right. So Weird Al's going to be on in probably 20 minutes or so. So I guess we'll check back in afterwards.
Yeah. Woo!
concert over, and I'm in a much better mood now. How about you?
Yeah, once the sun went down. Once that giant cloud showed up, it was like, I'll take care of this.
Seriously.
Don't you worry.
Yeah, that saved a lot. I don't know that I would rate Art Park high.
Meaning what?
Just the venue.
The setup?
Yeah.
Maybe if we were in the bowl, the special bowl that we thought we were buying tickets for originally.
Yeah.
So
It's possible. I sort of thought the lighting and the sound were a little iffy too, but I don't know. It's tricky when you're outside. But I tell you what I do rate high, and that's Weird Al.
yes, indeed.
I mean, I love that. He was great.
Yeah, it was great. I was funny. On the way here, you mentioned a song that takes you back to like when you're 21, and I made fun of you.
You did.
But then he was singing Yoda.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't make fun of Nick because Yoda takes me back to when I'm a teenager.
Well, I heard Harvey the Wonder Hamster, and it took me back to when I was like 12.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
definitely, I think because like he's a parody artist and he's a comedy artist, I think you sort of forget what a great musician he is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I remember listening to Jurassic Park in the dark with some friends, and they didn't want to be listening to it.
Right.
But he was doing the high part of it, and my friend who didn't enjoy what we were listening to was still like, he does have a pretty great voice.
He
and
does.
And I've remembered that for a long time.
The thing is, it's so tight. He's
Yeah.
just rock solid. He's
Yeah.
just perfectly on pitch. He has
Yeah.
perfect control of his voice. I mean, he knows
Maybe
how to
it's
use
the,
it.
accordion.
I
Maybe
guess
maybe
so.
that keeps you in key.
Yeah.
So,
Was there a standout track? I mean, what were you most excited to hear?
geez, I don't know. I mean, he ended with Yoda.
Yeah, right.
He came out for an encore with both the Saga Begins and
Yeah.
Yoda was pretty great. So, I mean, Word Crimes was fun. He went down on the crowd during Tacky.
Yes.
And interacted with the crowd, and that was a lot of fun
Yeah.
to watch. So, but he also played Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. I made a music video to that song when I was like 17. So
I
there you
think
go.
Our list is pretty similar because I would say probably I was most excited about Jurassic Park just because it did take me back.
Yeah.
But I think Word Crimes I probably had the most fun in.
Yeah, Word Crimes is fun. And when he did Amish Paradise, I mean, that's just
Yeah.
like, thank you.
Yeah.
You did that one. So,
I think the both the song that he did about exes, like Jilted
Oh,
Lovers,
yeah.
that was also pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with that song.
no, I don't think I am either. But he played some of the original ones. I am familiar with Don't Download This Song, though.
Yeah,
and
that's
that one
fun.
cracks me up. So.
I love Jackson Park Express.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a fan of that one anyway, but
Yeah.
just hearing it live was super cool.
Yep.
So for our listeners, if you have a Wellsville card, all Weird Al stuff is on Freegal.
Yeah, that's true.
So you
yeah.
can download or stream right
Yeah.
through there. Overall, I think it was a great concert.
Yeah,
I
a lot
have
of
no
good
complaints about Weird Al.
A lot of good costumes, a lot of fun effects. The backup singers, they
Yeah.
crack me up.
Yeah, they do.
Because like during Amish Paradise, they're wearing those bonnets.
Right.
They got the pom poms during
Yeah.
Smells Like Nirvana,
Yeah.
which I was also excited to hear.
Yeah.
I always love Smells Like Nirvana, so
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, the whole production was great, and it was nice. I mean, he's just so funny.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, like obviously you take that for granted because
Yep.
of course he is, but like all the little in between stuff,
Yep.
all the little little jabs he did at the crowd were just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a great
Yeah.
concert.
I think I watched when I was a teenager, like a live performance on TV of him doing it right after Running with Scissors came out, the Star Wars song and
Okay.
everything. And I remember thinking like, man, I want to go see Weird Al live. So I think that 15-year-old Eric would be pretty jealous
yeah,
today.
yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
That's
All right. Well, I guess that's gonna do it here at Art Park. We gotta wait in this huge line so we can get to our car and get out of here.
yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, Steve, we did it.
Yes, we did.
So we just finished Marshall Tucker Band. We're in Steve's truck. We're heading home. Steve, what's your takeaway?
I think it's good to hear some songs that I knew but wanted to know more of, and hear them in a live setting where the energy was all there and made it more accessible, I'd say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think my major complaint would be I don't like in concerts when songs devolve into just a super long jam. Do you like that?
No, I'm not a big fan of that either. In certain spots, it can be useful as a good tool to get the crowd motivated for really like feeling the vibe of the song, but when you do it frequently and not with enough variation, it loses its edge for me.
Yeah, I agree. And it's sort of kind of every song did that. Don't you think?
You kind of got to pick and choose when you do things like that, but it was just number after number was an extra 5 minutes of guitar playing, which was, it was good guitar playing, but it's just at a certain point it loses some of its, luster.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chris Hicks on guitar was the standout for me in that band, don't you think?
I'd say so. There was a song he did called Dog Eat Dog World that I found particularly enjoyable that I did not know. But
Yeah, I didn't really know that one either. But like I said earlier, we have their greatest hits in our collection, and we have Carolina Dreams. Carolina Dreams is a great album, don't you think?
yeah, that one's pretty solid all the way through.
And the greatest hits, actually quite a few from Carolina Dreams are on the greatest hits, but I'll tell you, it made me want to go and listen to the greatest hits again, because I do really like a lot of those songs. But I've got a controversial statement here, Steve.
Lay it on me.
I think it was Zora's Night.
I would say so. That was a pleasant surprise. You never know how much to expect from an opening act, but they delivered. They were solid. They were entertaining. They were funny. They had a good mix of covers and originals, and they're very entertaining, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the history of the Marshall Tucker Band, like that sort of wins out in that way, because it was really neat to see that like live up there on the stage. But I think as far as like song for song, how much was I enjoying myself, I would give it to Zor.
I would too. It's nice because you have Marshall Tucker Band, which has such a longevity, and it's good to see a part of music history, like in person. But as far as just straight entertainment, I was really in for Zor the whole time.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I do recommend the Marshall Tucker Band. Like I said, stop into the library and check out the greatest hits or Carolina Dreams or any other one we can get for you. Or they're also available on Freegal, so you can download or listen to them that way with your library card. Overall, I had a good experience at Trout Run, don't you think?
I would say so too. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, and it worked pretty well to have a concert just out in the field like that, under the sky. We're a little scared about rain here and there, but no problems.
Nope, went right away.
Yep. All right. Well, Steve, thanks for joining me for this special off the books segment here as we explore Trout Run and listen to Zora and Marshall Tucker Band. You can check out both online, and we have lots of CDs right in the library. So, thanks, Steve.
My pleasure.
Well, here we are back at Art Park. I'm here with Hillary Gunning of the Previously on X-Men podcast. Hillary, thanks for joining me once again.
You are so welcome.
Is it weird that I introduced you like that when we're
little
just on a date to see a concert?
When I'm your wife and
Right, well,
you're my husband.
Just push through it. We're here at Art Park, this time in the main stage, different from where we all saw Weird Al. We're seeing Sarah McLachlan. Hillary, tell me a little bit about your history with this artist.
I love Sarah McLachlan. I have since I was, I think, like 9 years old.
That's a good run.
Yeah, it is a very good run. I'm very excited to see her. I saw her at Lilith Fair in, like, I don't know, 94 or something stupid.
That's legit.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, we have great seats.
We do. I think they're perfect.
Yeah.
We're like right parallel with the piano, so we can see her hands, but we're not behind her. It'll be good.
The Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra, is that what you
Yep,
say?
that's it.
Is up there right now.
Yeah.
Is there a song that you, like, what is your must-sing song that she's got to do?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, I keep thinking of Building a Mystery. I don't think that's my favorite, but that might be the best to sing along to.
Okay. What are the odds she's going to do it?
There's no question that she's definitely going to do that song.
Okay. Well, things are about to start, so we'll check in again after the concert. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Well, now we're on the long walk back to our car, which is parked very far away from this venue.
Long but worth it.
Yes. So my first question is, did she sing the one that you wanted her to sing?
She did. It comes as no surprise. Yes, she did.
What was it again?
Building a Mystery. She opened the second half with it.
Okay. I think the one I could only really sing along with was I Will Remember You.
Yeah, I'm surprised you knew that one, actually.
I don't know why I know that one. It seems like it's used in many, many montages, so maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, it was one of the singles that was around.
Okay. Well, I also know Ice Cream, but only because it was on Mad About You.
That's the one that you said you didn't really like.
Yeah, but it grew on me. That was
Live, it was good.
yeah, that was the sing along. What's the one? My favorite one was one I didn't know. It was the one she said was about her best friend. What was that?
Adia. You didn't know Adia?
Well, it was kind of familiar, but that was the one I enjoyed the most live.
Yeah, that's one of her most famous ones.
Are you willing to list a favorite yet, or is it just all?
I can't think. It was just fabulous. All of it was amazing.
It was funny watching you because the whole crowd was just like all in.
We were in. This was an in-it crowd.
Yes, they were. And weirdly enough, I pay her the same compliment that I paid Weird Al a couple weeks ago, and that is that
In the same venue.
She was just rock solid.
She was completely rock solid. There wasn't a misstep in the
I
whole
mean,
thing.
she was flawless every note.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
And the thing is, I was surprised that she managed to be like poetic and like very lovely without being like schmaltzy or melodramatic.
She wasn't cheesy at all. Yeah, she said a few things that are very cliche kinds of things to say, but they were so genuine that it was just it didn't feel cliche at all.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great concert, and really, that room was all in.
Oh yeah, they were. Oh, and the Philharmonic was stunning.
Yeah, they were. They did a great job. Well, overall, I'm pretty happy with that concert experience.
It was beautiful, just more than I ever would have expected.
And now we walk 2 miles to our car.
Here we go. We're already out of breath.
Wait, she remembered.
It's fumbling towards ecstasy.
Hi, Nick, if you're listening to this, and everybody else of the All the Book Show listening crew. We used to call you Podcats. I don't know if that still is still your nickname, but you'll always be Podcats to me. Anyway, I'm getting out of the Goo Goo. I'm gonna edit it. I'm getting out of the Goo Goo Dolls and Train. And I'm doing this all by myself.
No.
Just kidding. Kendra's here.
Hi, everybody.
That's my wife, Kendra, and Hillary's here.
Me too.
You might know Hillary from such podcasts as previously on X-Men.
That's the only one.
I have a podcast.
And you might know Kendra from such podcast as Nostalgia Me This.
Woo.
Anyway, we just got out of the concert for the Goo Goo Dolls and Train. Goo Goo Dolls opened, which I was actually a little surprised by because Goo Goo Dolls seemed like a nighttime band.
Who opened?
What'd I say? Oh, I don't even remember. Andrew Jones?
No,
Andy Jones?
Alan
Dave.
Dean.
Gillenberg.
Somebody opened, and then the Goo Goo Dolls played, and the Goo Goo, oh boy. Yeah, the GGDs.
Oh my gosh.
The Goo Goo Dolls were very good, and I think I learned that Broadway might be my favorite song of theirs, if not Iris. Hillary, what was your favorite Goo Goo Dolls performance?
My favorites? Yeah, probably Broadway. No. Yeah, Broadway.
Okay, she figured it out. Kendra, what was your favorite? I think I know.
It has to be Slide. It's my favorite. I love it.
Yeah.
Slide was pretty good. I actually did like their new stuff. I couldn't sing along with it, but I liked it. Hillary, you know about their new stuff either better than Kendra and I.
I know about Boxes. I didn't know the brand new one that they did.
Ah, okay.
But they did 2 songs from Boxes, which I was really excited about.
They didn't do the song from Treasure Planet.
No, they did not. They never do.
All right. A lot of people make a big deal about the 2 singers, and it's very apparent when they're live and 25 years later from the 90s.
You know, though, the other guy, whatever his name is pretty good live. He's got a good presence.
Yeah. The other guy has a really good energy.
What is his name?
He's very into it. I don't know his name.
We don't know his name. We'll just call him Mr. Goo Goo.
Look out.
All right, so the Goo Goo Dolls played. They ended with Broadway, right? Am I remembering that? They ended with Broadway. And I got to say, Mr. What is it? Resnick?
John Resnick.
John Resnick sounds exactly the same as he did in 1998.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Kendra, what did you think of Resnick?
He sounds great. He looks interesting, but he sounds great.
Oh, don't be mean.
I'm gonna start wearing T-shirts with a big oval head
apparently
spot,
that's the thing.
and then a necklace that I keep under my shirt, and you only see the strings every now and then.
The hint of the necklace, yes.
Yeah, it's a cool look. All right, so they left. They were great. Everybody loved them. And then there was an intermission. The intermission started with them.
I Want It That Way.
I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys, and everybody in
The entire audience sang along. It was amazing.
So there was that, and then Train came out. I'm not a big fan of Train in general. I'm trying to whisper that because everybody here loved it. I wouldn't listen on the radio. What am I trying to say? I wouldn't listen to an album.
Love to listen to an album of Train.
I wouldn't. A lot of their singles, I'm like, that's okay, in one ear, out the other. But they put on.
That's how he feels about Train, yes.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is they put on a pretty great show.
They put a really great show. That was really tight.
I liked, and I have to say, while not every one of their singles is for me, they have so many.
They have a lot. Ones that you wouldn't think like, oh, I know that because of Train, but you definitely know the song.
Actually, there were a lot of songs I was like, oh, that is Train. So I was kind of impressed by just how many they were able to pull out, how many they have in their arsenal, and how many that everybody freaking loves. They played a cover of American Girl, which I got to headbang to.
And is fine. No.
Yeah, I'm fine. I didn't hurt my neck. I'm not getting old. And they also did Under Pressure. Kendra, what did you think of Under Pressure?
They sound good. His voice is able to do that song and Led Zeppelin songs. I thought
I'm taking the phone away from her. I actually don't know why they're doing this Led Zeppelin. They have a whole Led Zeppelin cover album. Hillary,
They have a whole album?
they covered the whole Zeppelin album.
Okay, well that's bizarre, but I liked the covers.
and they ended with Drops of Jupiter.
Drops of Jupiter, which I love so much.
I might find that song the most annoying because I used to work as a janitor and in a graduate school, and
okay, I see where this is going.
I was having to clean out a giant classroom, and I had to scrub under every seat and then wet vac and suck it all up. And that thing would take days to do.
And was related in some way.
I would listen to the radio while doing that, and Drops of Jupiter was a big hit at the time, and that was playing every freaking hour, and I grew to dislike it. And also, K-Pax wasn't that good of a movie, and they used that in the commercial for the film K-Pax.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Kendra, what was your favorite Train song?
Oh, so hard to say. I mean, Soul Sister was great.
Oh, that
I
was
also loved Drive By was really good. Train is just like fun, feel good music. Like you can just put Train on and be happy. So I loved it. We need to cross the street now.
We sure do. Hillary, what was your favorite Train song?
I really like Meet Virginia.
What?
Meet Virginia.
I don't remember that one.
Meet Virginia. That's all it is. I don't know.
Okay. I liked Play That Song because I like that song. And I like the, what is it, A Million Ways to Die?
Yes, that one was great.
Yeah, I like that one. That's fun. So, all in all, they're a great show. I think what happened was I wish while during the concert that I had some of my older friends from like my teens and my young adult life with me, because the Goo Goo Dolls kind of sent me back to like that age.
We are standing
Yeah,
right here.
I know. Are we not good enough?
I'm just saying, like listening to Broadway and everything. I'm like, I miss some people back from my hometown because I was listening to the Goo Goo Dolls in the '90s.
I think maybe he should just walk home and we'll just
Yeah.
take the car.
We'll
Goodness.
take it. It's fine.
I think I'm actually going to give a specific shout out to my sister Erin. I think she would have
Erin!
loved this concert. And I would, even though I say I'm not a huge Train fan, I would go to another Train concert.
He did say that.
It was a lot of fun. He threw out free T-shirts. He signed a T-shirt and then threw it at someone. It was really fun.
Yeah, a lot of
Lots of confetti and balloons.
Oh, that reminds me. John Resnick signed somebody's arm for a tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, he did. Both bands have absolutely great showmanship, and I have to say I am super impressed by just how much the Goo Goo Dolls still have it on stage, and besides just technicality, they're on stage and they know what they're doing.
Got it. Yeah.
All right, so overall, both bands together, what do you think?
I loved it. I thought it was a really great show.
A+. A++.
A plus plus plus.
A plus 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 plus. All right, I thought it was great.
Well, I'm here with one of my oldest friends, Steve Rudd. Steve, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Here we are in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Is that right?
That is correct.
In some sort of abandoned parking structure is what it feels like. A post-apocalyptic mall of yesteryear.
It's the parking garage to the American Dream.
Wow.
Right next to the MetLife Stadium.
Well, that's inspiring. So yes, we're going to the MetLife Stadium to see
The Rolling Stones.
I like that. I like how you said that. So, Steve, let me ask you this: what's your history with this band? What kind of a Rolling Stones fan are you?
I'm kind of like a casual fan. I know their songs when they come on. They're just a band that's so easy to listen to and sing along with. But I wouldn't say I'm like a huge follower of their music. I don't know really any album names or anything like that. So I'd say that's kind of where I'm at. Like I know the song, I could sing along, but that's the extent of it, really.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably in the same place. Like I they're not one that I would put like in my top 5 bands of all time, but I mean they're iconic,
Yes.
And I think I like the level they've achieved this level of like fame and notoriety, and like everybody knows who the Rolling Stones are. But I feel like they've also been able to maintain kind of a grungy garage band kind of feel,
Yeah, they really have, actually, pretty much throughout time. I mean, and they have like such a unique sound, especially Mick Jagger's voice, that it's them immediately, and their sound, you're just like, this is the Rolling Stones. I've never heard this song before, but I know it's the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, there's not a ton of bands I think that you could make that claim on. That most people could hear it and be like, that's probably the Rolling Stones. Do you have a what are some favorites? What are you hoping they'll play?
I'm kind of hoping they play Under My Thumb. I just really I enjoy that song a lot. I kind of like the tune. And it's just a fun song for me, and I like Gimme Shelter, and I think one of the reasons why I like that song is it's such an iconic song where whether you see it in movies or just on the radio, it's such a song that like brings you back to a time. I wasn't alive, but my brain goes back to that time, Vietnam era. It's just like, man, that's such a period song, but it still is so good. You could play it in the background of a barbecue at home, and it just works, And actually, Painted Black,
Yes.
That song, the very first time I heard that song was the game Twisted Metal Black, and it was the song for the menu of the game, and I was like, what is this song? And I think that was one of the first times I experienced the Rolling Stones, at least knowingly experienced the Rolling Stones, and looked it up, and I was like, wow, it's such a great song. And, from then on, like, I just knew who the Rolling Stones were after that. So,
see, that's the thing. I mean, this is a band that has 50 plus years history. You know what I mean? So, culling a set list, finding like exactly what songs to sing. I mean, they're not going to be able to get all the ones that people want to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like I tend to gravitate more towards there. They have a lot of like slow jams, like Wild Horses and Tumblin' Dice, and Beasts of Burden's one of my favorites of theirs. I love Beasts of Burdens. I love Don't Stop. And then just like you're saying, all the old, like the iconic 60s ones, Paint It Black, 19 Nervous Breakdown, Satisfaction.
Nervous Breakdown,
You know what I mean? There's just so many. So I don't think that there's really much chance that we're going to leave this disappointed.
No, definitely not. I think that's true. This is a band that really, they'll play some song that everyone will enjoy at some point, And I know the joke has been, we'll probably be the youngest people here, but I mean, even just talking about it really is, they have songs for anyone, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
And so I think that's great. I think that's one thing that sets the Rolling Stones apart from other groups, especially other groups from their era, So
well, that's true, and again, I mean, just going back to that 50 years, they've been around so long and gone through so many changes and just adapting with the times and things that, I mean, you could have become a Rolling Stones fan anytime in the last 50 years, and that has merit, that's relevant,
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're going to make our way over to the stadium, and we'll check back in after the show. Are you excited, Steve?
I am absolutely excited. I cannot wait.
Woo! Okay, we're done with the concert, and I am exhausted. You?
So am I.
The foot traffic out of that place was like a living, walking, breathing nightmare.
It was like herding cattle slowly.
It was like the second half of World War Z.
Yeah.
Only neither of us is Brad Pitt. They did not sing any of the songs that I had said before that I wanted them to sing, and they didn't do Under My Thumb either, did they?
They didn't, but they did Paint It Black and Give Me Shelter.
Yeah.
So that was good. And Give Me Shelter was the encore. So
Yeah, the first encore.
the first encore.
Yeah.
And they didn't play any slow songs.
No, they didn't. They didn't. I mean, I have mixed feelings about this concert. How about you?
I do too, because it was very fun how they mixed the visuals with music and everything, but it was, because there was no songs that you kind of sat down and swayed back and forth to. It was just in your face, strobes, lights, fireworks.
We never had a tempo change. It was all just the same,
Well, the tempo did change when
God.
Keith Richards
Yes.
sang his two songs.
Keith.
I don't know. It was.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many songs.
He did two back to back, and they were like, our seats were way up high, so we could see the whole stadium. You look down, and suddenly like everyone is on their phones while Keith Richards sings two like weird bluesy songs. But other than that, we didn't. And then my second problem, I guess, was that there was no chatter. There was no like stories. There was
nothing.
never a conversation. There were never
thank
like
you Jersey, thank you New York, thank you Connecticut, Long Island.
but never like we first performed this song in 19. Like I wrote this song when it was just.
There was the one
constant...
song when it was She's a Rainbow, and that was it. Where he's like, oh yeah, we wrote this. He's like, I wrote this back in
67,
67, or I don't know, I can't remember,
that
and it
was
was just
pretty
like,
much it.
that was just a failed attempt
It was.
at trying to explain
But
the song.
that song was a standout for me because I like when they do an oddball like that, and that's kind of a deep cut. And I have a album set called Live at the BBC that's all their really early recordings, live recordings, and they do that one, and I've always really liked that song, so it was a pleasant surprise. But that was a golden opportunity to talk about it, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I guess that's the downside. I found myself a little like wanting kind of a change.
Yeah, especially since that was a voted song.
Yeah.
That was a song that the crowd for some reason, somehow you were able to vote on a song.
Yeah, it was like
I
a
had
Twitter
no idea.
poll. It was a Twitter poll, but I didn't.
okay,
I followed them and I didn't see it in time,
okay.
so I don't know. But
So that's the song you want to explain,
Right,
Because
yeah.
there's a reason why everyone chose it.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Without the talk, the personal touch, it's like, we could have listened to the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. So those are the negatives. The positives, I mean, they're so iconic. Just to see the
Yeah.
four of them up there together and like just still being the Rolling Stones. You know what I mean? Like when you go see McCartney or something like that, like you're seeing sort of a remnant of the Beatles and then a solo
Yeah.
artist. This, you were actually like really seeing the Rolling
was
Stones.
the Rolling
Yeah.
Stones,
So-
albeit they're falling apart.
Yes.
But it was just really cool to see them.
Yeah.
Like up there all
I
playing.
mean,
at the
you
same
were
time.
you're just seeing a living, breathing piece of music history
Yeah.
just like come alive and perform on stage. Seeing like Mick do his iconic dancing and stuff,
Yes, that was very entertaining.
that
He's
was
got
cool.
some moves.
He
still,
does.
man.
When they went down to the little stage and did an acoustic set, they still didn't do slow songs, but it was at least that was a cool acoustic set that they
Yeah.
did. So like that was neat, seeing like Mick and Keith, harmonizing on one mic and stuff. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just that was really cool to see. So I'm very glad that we saw it, and I did enjoy it, but with some caveats,
Yes, I definitely think so. One thing that I did like about the video screens that they had was they did so well at making them look like they were edited.
Yeah.
Like it was a pre-recording,
Yeah.
and they just did so well at that like a live supercut of what was going on stage was
Yeah.
just really cool to see. And
I agree.
I found myself sometimes staring at the screen and not looking
Yep.
at the stage because they did so well.
And the balance was so good too. I mean, obviously Mick was highlighted, but you'd have times where there was 4 screens, and each one of them had a
Each
screen
one of them
up
had
there.
a screen, yeah.
Keith suddenly has brown hair again. I don't know if you noticed that, but
Yeah, I did.
Keith and Ronnie Wood and Mick are all kind of like glammed up and rock star,
Yeah.
whereas Charlie Watts back on the drum just looks like your grandpa.
He looks like the get off my
He
lawn.
was,
He had the
seriously.
face.
He did like every once in a while after a song he'd smile, but the rest of the time, I mean, he's really wailing on those drums.
Yeah.
But he is just completely blank. It was like Harpo Marx playing the
Yeah,
drums.
he was
I mean,
stoic.
He was
Definitely focused.
He was. So that was funny. Yeah, the video aspects of it were very good. Yeah, that's true. What did you say your standout song? Was it Painted Black or Give Me Shelter?
I think it was Painted Black
Okay.
because I just love that song so much, and it was kind of surprised how it came in. You know, everything was all colors and this
Yeah.
and that, and all of a sudden, they jumped into that with a pause. So it wasn't just like they rolled right into it. So it had, I guess, a little bit of suspense before the song started. And when I heard the first, he starts in with that guitar, and I was just like, oh yeah, it was really good. I do. Overall, I did like the concert.
Yeah.
But no slow songs. Like, they got so many good ones.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
let us relax and
I know.
sway. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, I think probably Rainbow was my favorite just because like it was so unexpected.
It was unexpected. And it wasn't, it didn't feng shui with the rest of the songs.
That's true.
It was,
That's true. Well, it was kind of
inserted
from a
in there.
different era,
Yeah.
They're really, the early Stones are a lot different from like the early '70s, Exile on Main Street kind of Stones. So, so that was exciting. I think the one that got me the most, like, oh my gosh, was Let's Spend the Night Together. Like as soon as that one started, I was like, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
So that I was most excited about that one. Yeah, and overall, I was pretty happy with the set list. I was bored during the Keith section, and Midnight Rambler never stopped.
Oh my gosh!
That was
that they drew that on.
They sure did.
Way too long.
They sure did.
Great song.
Yeah,
but when you're
maybe
like,
not in this format.
when you're like 9 minutes
Yeah.
in, you're just like, holy smoke! And then there was at one point where we thought it was over, and it wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah.
People clapped like, yay!
Yeah.
And then it kept going.
Yeah. Well, that was a couple episodes back. We talked about when I was at the Marshall Tucker Band concert, and they turned every song into like a 10-minute jam. So,
man.
like, at least we only had one of those here for the Rolling Stones. But and now we just have to fight our way through the more cars than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
All right, Steve, thanks for debuting yourself on the podcast here.
Oh, I appreciate it.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Yes.
Hey everybody, we're sitting in my car because there is a long line, because Bryan Adams is a bigger star in the music world than I would have ever thought. Nick?
I agree. Yeah, I was a little surprised by that. So here we are at Darien Lake in a grassy field of haphazard cars going at diagonal directions all over the round. Hillary, hello.
Hi there.
Kendra?
Hi.
So yes, we went to see Billy Idol for Eric's birthday.
Woo!
Happy birthday.
It's true. He didn't know it was my birthday, which explains why he didn't play Hot in the City, but he did...
Or Moni Moni.
Or Moni Moni, but he did start with...
Dancing
with Myself, which is probably my favorite of his. So, and Rebel Yell is pretty great.
So we came for Billy Idol. We stayed for Bryan Adams. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I'm going to say I really enjoyed Bryan Adams. Like, it made me want to go listen to his stuff. I thought his stuff was, like, really catchy and memorable. So, I enjoyed Billy Idol as well, but there was a lot of guitar soloing, so I would be in it, and then I would be out of it, and then I'd be back in it.
Yes, that's fair. I guess what I preferred, I think, about Billy Idol's was the, like, sort of loose nature, whereas I felt like Bryan Adams was almost, like, too polished with everything. Do you know what I'm saying?
Disagreed.
Shocker.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm not. I mean, I came for Billy Idol, but I actually appreciated the polished nature of the Bryan Adams performance.
All right.
Felt like they were a very tight band, and I thought they put a very good performance.
All right. Favorite songs, favorite tracks.
Rebel Yell was great.
Okay.
And Summer of '69 was great.
All right, Hillary, what about you?
White Wedding
Yeah.
for Billy Idol.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
I think actually for Billy Idol, I was most interested in the song. What was it? "Ghost in My Guitar," the one that he.
I liked that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a nice one.
The story behind that was that his dad liked that album, was listening to that album when he died, which was a kind of a tearjerker of a story, and then the images that went with it. But no, I was
unaffected by that. By that song and story.
Okay.
So.
All right, let's all take the temperature on that.
No opinion from Eric.
I thought it was really cool that he took requests from people in the audience, which was really impressive to just because a lot of musicians don't remember all the words to their songs, and he was just like, sure, let's play this.
Yeah, I agree. That was pretty cool. He was like a human jukebox for a minute there. So I think that was my favorite of the Billy Idols, and "It's Only Love" was my favorite Bryan Adams song, even without Tina Turner.
Yeah, he pretended like Tina Turner was going to come out, and I knew it was a joke. But at the same time, I was like, but what if Tina Turner comes out? That'd be... I enjoyed Rebel Yell, the performance, because it was probably the most he seemed like he was into it.
Yeah.
He was just up on the speakers and getting everybody to cheer along.
He was full Billy Idol in that song.
That's very true. I don't know what I would say my favorite Bryan Adams song is. Come Back to Me.
Everybody else is gone.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I like the cheesiness of the one where you go all for one and all for love. It's a cheesy line. I like it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I also like that Shine a Light song, even though it was new. So maybe that helps by not knowing anything by the person that is just like, this is the new stuff. I'm like, it's all new stuff, baby.
I think we all shared one complaint about the venue, and that was the utter lack of sweet treats.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Give me
Ice cream?
ice cream. Give me something that's
This is Kendra speaking.
non-alcoholic that I can drink.
Yeah. I wanted some Dippin' Dots, Hillary.
Oh yeah, I came for the Dippin' Dots.
I would have killed
She
for
stayed
some
for Bryan
Dippin'
Adams.
Dots.
Hey, we were in a tent area. We were at Darien Lake, and it started pouring like Heaven's Gates opened up and just rained everything down. And there were people out in that yard that stayed through the whole thing. So that was impressive.
Yeah, it was a downpour,
I
seriously.
was actually kind of surprised Bryan Adams didn't say like, let's give it up for all the people that stayed in the yard.
Yeah.
So
You probably couldn't tell it was raining.
Well, he sang the song about driving rain, like right as it started, which was fortuitous. Now, I got to say, while I did have Dippin' Dots when I saw the Rolling Stones, my major complaint about them was that there was no stories and anecdotes. And I thought both Billy Idol and Bryan Adams were good, peppering in the anecdotes and like the talking and making it more of a, multi-level experience. So I did really like that all around.
yeah, I had a pretzel.
I also had a pretzel, Hillary.
I too had a pretzel.
So pretzels were popular. Yeah.
I had pulled pork. I'm the only one here who can eat pork, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
So
I mean, technically we could.
We all
just
have the
we
capacity to
choose
eat
not
pork.
to. Yeah. All
I'm the
right.
only one who chooses.
Listen, I enjoyed the whole 80s vibe
Oh, yeah.
of the concert with both Billy Idol and Bryan Adams. Like, even Bryan Adams' new stuff, it still feels very, like, late 80s.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
I feel like I got more of a 90s vibe from him.
Especially, 90s vibe, especially from the one he performed, where all, like, the pictures of everybody were
yeah.
on screen. Just that thing felt like a very 90s music video there. So.
Look at the technology we have in the 90s. My major complaint about that concert, I think, was the AV crew who kept going on the same two dancers
Oh, yeah.
in the
By
dance-a-thon.
two dancers, do you mean that? Never mind.
I mean that that
We all
one
know what you're
that
saying.
one lady and that one guy who was like 100% in. And
Also, shout out to the people in front of us who just could not let go of each other's butts.
it's a
They
serious,
went for it.
serious PDA couple in front of us. Very distracting. All right.
There was some nudity in the concert, though.
What?
Yeah.
On the
Yes.
screen, you didn't see the full naked woman on the screen.
Any final thoughts on the concerts, gang?
Two
I liked
thumbs
it.
up.
All right.
Good stuff.
Now we'll spend the next 40 to 60 minutes in this line of traffic. I'm here at Art Park in Lewiston, New York, with my brother and longtime All the Books correspondent, Steve Van Valkenburg. Steve, hello.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Steve and I are in a state of shock, I think.
More or less.
We just went on one heck of a ride seeing Brian Wilson, well, ostensibly Brian Wilson, but was really the full band, Al Jardine, original Beach Boy, and Blondie Chaplin, who was Blondie Chaplin was a Beach Boys, not an official Beach Boy, I don't think, but he played on a lot of the albums in the late 70s. So he's a longtime associate, as well as Matt Jardine, son of Al Jardine, who also was a regular on some of the Beach Boys albums. I don't know. I mean, it was an experience. It's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to put into words. I think if you're a fan of Brian Wilson, if you came to the show tonight, then you probably at least had a little bit of an idea of what you were getting into. You weren't expecting a showman, but it was a difficult concert to watch.
A little bit. I'm not entirely convinced he was awake the entire time.
It was, he didn't.
Very muted.
He certainly didn't seem like a man who wanted to be
No.
the center of attention in
Which
all
in
this.
turn made us a little inaccessible
Well,
for us.
I don't know.
There's really just no way to describe it. It's just audibly sighing is the best way I can convey my emotions at the moment.
So, I mean, the takeaway from this concert for me was a strong respect for Al Jardine.
Yes, I think we should replace the name on the poster a little bit.
Well, you know what? It's funny you say that because as I was thinking about this, I thought if this was called like the Brian Wilson Band or like an evening with Brian Wilson and friends or something like that, then I think it would have. The fact that they didn't address like what Brian's level of participation was going to be, I think was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to go to this tour, because this is the first in many tours.
Yeah, there's quite a few dates.
Many dates in this tour. If you're going to go to this is the advice I have for you, okay? Think of it as you're going to see Brian Wilson and friends.
Yes.
Know that Brian is going to be there. He's going to be just absorbing the music, and he's going to participate when the spirit moves him, and other times he's just going to chill there.
Yeah.
I think like if we would have had that up front, I probably would have been a little bit more prepared for it.
Yes, that's fair.
And also, like, Matt Jardine has basically taken over the Brian Wilson falsetto parts.
Yeah.
And again, I think if that would have been addressed, then that would have made things much simpler. If you just kind of understood that this was what the night was going to be. But instead, we had to sort of figure out that it was what the night was going to be.
Yes. And it never quite seemed that was always going to be the plan.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah. So, boy. Woo! Okay. So, here's I think probably the best Brian Wilson performance of the night was I Just Wasn't Made for These Times from Pet Sounds.
I would have to agree.
That was the one that to me seemed he was just in it start to finish, and I thought he did a nice job with that. That's not a really rangy song. It's simple, and I think that one felt like Brian Wilson to me. The thing is, Pet Sounds, the album is it's written at a time when it really is exploring Brian's like sense of isolation and loneliness. So like a lot of the lyrics in these songs just made it a little bit.
I wonder if that made him more like, I've heard these songs hundreds and thousands of times by this point, but maybe he's more introspective when he hears these things or tries to perform these things live. They don't really seem suitable for a big live audience.
But just the lyrics that he was singing some of the times was like, boy, this is too real.
Yes.
But I do think he did a nice job, and I just wasn't made for these times. And Al Jardine was excellent.
He was incredible, man. That guy really made this night.
I'm not joking when I say that. I've always been a fan, but this really gave me a lot of respect for him because he was humble, he was supportive. He
was funny, he was animated.
Absolutely. He came on with Sloop John B, which is Al Jardine's, he does the lead on that.
Yeah.
And when he finished, it was a standing ovation. It was thunderous applause that just continued. And he was very humble about it, He sort of accepted it. You could see that he was a little uncomfortable, and he was like, hey, well, listen, the best is yet to come, because Brian's going to sing, he said Paul McCartney's favorite song, which is God Only Knows. And then later,
many people's favorite song.
Absolutely. And then later, he had another solo moment for him, and it was the same kind of thing. He sort of took the applause and was like, yeah, this band is great.
I don't recall the name of the song, but he did a Mike Love song.
Yeah.
That was actually very good.
Yeah, that was Love Is Here.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my favorites from Pet Sounds anyway. So when he did that one, it really it was cool. First of all, to hear I don't know why my car is beeping. Sorry, everyone. It was cool to hear Al do one that's he's never done before.
Yeah.
That's a Mike Love solo. So that was really neat. But Sloop John B. That's Not Me is another one that Brian and Al did together, and I really felt like when they were doing sort of a call and response song like that, that's when Brian was at his best.
Yeah.
And it was the moment for me where it felt most like seeing the Beach Boys.
Yes, I
you know what I
agree
mean?
with that.
The second half of the show is where things I think really got going. The band was amazing.
Yeah, the band was
really
great.
was.
They were particularly great.
They were excellent. So when we're moving into like Help Me Rhonda, which is another Al Jardine, Fun.
Yeah.
Those are some times where you could see, Brian kind of sitting in the piano.
Like the light bulb would like flash.
Absolutely.
At certain times you could just see it like in his face.
Yeah, and he'd just sort of lean forward and really like go at the piano, and it was.
It was odd because it was just in spurts, but there were moments where it was like, okay, there's Brian
That's
Wilson.
what I mean. That's why you just got to embrace it. Like when it breaks through to him, when like the spirit moves him, he's going to dive in, and he did. And so at the end of the day, like I'm glad that we saw it.
Yeah.
It was.
We saw the Beach Boys. We saw probably supposed we're going to get to seeing the Beach Boys.
Absolutely.
And I was glad to have had that experience. It's just lacking in certain aspects that I was expecting.
Well, yeah.
If I had all the information going into what it was going to be, it would be different. You're right about that.
That's what I mean. I really think if this was billed a little differently and really like. I don't know if it was set up to sort of focus on the parts that were going to work and downplay the parts that didn't. Like if they would have just had a chorus, maybe three guys that were just singing every note that Brian was supposed to sing.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he didn't come in or he came in a little late or whatever,
safety net.
Yes, exactly. I think that would have been so much better. I would have. Maybe.
Nobody's expecting him to, go all out.
Exactly.
We know at this stage.
Exactly.
It's just great that he's doing it still. But
and I think, it was really interesting because our seats were actually really good.
Yes,
we were very close, so we could really see a lot of the like interchanges, little exchanges, looks between the bands. You could see them sort of being like, okay, how are we going to make this work? What's best? And there were several times where Al Jardine kind of like, looked at Brian and kind of gave him a little cue, and then there was a beat, and then Al would sing, and that.
He was on top of
things. He really was. That's what I mean. It was just, but not in like a showboaty, glory hound kind of way. Just like,
doing what has to be done.
Yeah, he's in the band. He's supporting his friend of
but he gave it
60
his all.
years.
Yeah.
So yeah, some really great takeaways to this. But I will say, if you're going to the show, just know.
Yeah.
That you're going to see a great band. You're going to see Al Jardine like in his element, and every once in a while you're going to.
He always seemed like the most unassuming of all of them. Really,
absolutely.
Not kind of like Brian when he was,
absolutely
more introverted. But
every once in a while you're going to see Brian pop in You know what I mean? But other than that, you just gotta kind of go in knowing what to expect. So
I'm glad we did it. Absolutely.
I agree. Al Jardine does have a recent solo album that just
really?
came out in vinyl. So I'm going to check that out
Yeah, me
because
too.
I
Consider me
was
interested.
very impressed with him. But anyway, I think that's going to do it.
Yes, I think so.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
I'm here at Bethel Woods, the outdoor pavilion, on the 50th anniversary of the original Woodstock concert. And I've got my son with me here today. So, hey, who are we going to see today in this concert? Come on.
Of course we're going to see Ringo because it's a Ringo concert.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Ringo and his all-star band. So there's going to be lots of other people that we like, too. What is your favorite Ringo song?
Don't really know as much, but
Well, Yellow Submarine, or Photograph, or Octopus Garden, or Matchbox. Which of those do you like?
I like this song, like all I have is a photograph, and
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
That one's called Photograph. Yeah, that's a great one. That was Ringo's #1 hit from the album Ringo. Did you know that?
No.
Well, it's true. Do you think there's a lot of people here today?
Well, there's like about 10,033 people here.
You think so?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty big. What do you think of our seats? Can you see the stage pretty well?
Well, a lot. I do not know why there is this picture in the background.
Yeah, that's got stars and flowers. I think that's just Ringo's background. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Okay, well, you'll probably be asleep. Do you think you're going to be able to stay awake for this whole concert?
Well, I thought I was going to fall asleep for Toy Story 4, but it was actually pretty rock.
Yeah. Yeah, you made it through. You were wide awake. Okay, well, if you're still awake when the concert's over, we'll talk about it and you can tell me which songs you like the best. Okay, are you excited?
Why would I not? He's my favorite character.
All right, well, now that you're awake again, we got to talk about your first concert. What did you think?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I know you got a little tired by the end and you wanted to go home. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I fell asleep.
Yeah, but you still saw most of the concert. You just fell asleep for the end.
Okay.
All right, the first one we saw was Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
The guy on the keyboard was not Blood, Sweat, and Tears. It was near the end where we saw Ringo, and I think I was awake for 3 p.m.
You were awake. Yeah, you were awake for some of them. Yeah, so we saw Blood, Sweat, and Tears. The guy you were talking about with the keyboard, that was Edgar Winter from the Edgar Winter Band. You were jamming to him. I thought you liked that one the best. Did you like him?
Yeah.
Do you remember what he was doing with the guitarist?
Yeah. He would be like... and the guitar would repeat.
Yeah, that's right. He was going back and forth with the guitar, and then he did that with the bass guitar, and then he also did it with the drums. That was pretty cool, I thought. Didn't you like that?
Yeah, he was doing such weird things.
Yes, that's true. I think Edgar Winter would agree with you on that. And then the Ringo show started.
Yep.
Do you remember what your favorite Ringo song was?
Yep.
What was it?
I guess I had... I liked all of them mostly.
All of them?
Yeah.
Do you remember any in particular?
Matchbox.
Yes, Matchbox is one of my favorites.
I was just beginning, so I know Matchbox,
Uh-huh.
Photograph, Yellow Submarine.
Uh-huh.
I think that's all.
Yeah, those are the ones you remember? Yeah, that was pretty fun. Did you like seeing Ringo playing the drums and seeing all the guys up there singing their songs?
Yeah. That guy was just so weird.
Yeah, he was, but he was fun. What did you think of that place we were at? We were packed. There was people everywhere.
Yeah, there was like 10,800.
Wow, that's a whole lot. What did you think of? Do you remember the trees?
Yeah, I do not know. They like put little lights in them or something.
Yeah.
There were little shining glory things that made them like sparkle kind of.
Yeah. They were all different colors, so when it got dark, they looked really cool.
Yeah.
And you ate a lot of popcorn.
Mostly all of it.
Yes, you did. You really pounded that. And I think you liked that fountain quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right, so overall, thumbs up or thumbs down on the concert?
Up.
Thumbs up?
Yep.
Okay. Should we go to another concert sometime?
Yeah.
Is Ringo still your favorite character?
Yeah.
All right. What did you think of him?
Well, also kind of a fan of Paul.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. I agree. Paul McCartney's pretty good, too. Okay, well, thanks for coming to the concert with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Eric.
And Kendra.
We just came back from Tim McGraw, or we're just leaving Tim McGraw right now. Tim McGraw, famously known as the crime dog who helped teach kids about staying away from strangers and not stealing.
No, that's the other McGraw. I don't know what his name is. Duke McGraw. What's his name?
Scruff McGruff. So, not Duke McGraw. Mine was a stretch, and anyway, listen, I'm just gonna say, it was a concert, and I had a good time. I didn't know any of the songs. Kendra, take it away.
As a huge Tim McGraw fan, I thought the concert was amazing. We had pretty good seats. We were in the second section back. Could see him very clearly. He sang a good mix, I thought, of his older stuff and his newer stuff. So there were some new songs I hadn't heard, but he sang all my old favorites, like Where the Green Grass Grows and something like that. And I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. So it was a really good time. And I liked it. The venue was cool, too. It was at the Seneca Niagara Casino. But it was outside, so it was a cool time.
The venue was a parking lot. Don't let that rave review confuse you. It was definitely a parking lot.
Well, but it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see very clearly. If I had been in the very, very back in the stands, I don't know if I would have liked it.
That's true. What else can I say? I don't know. It's just one of the. I got the tickets for her because she hadn't seen him before, and he had just come in town, and it was just one of those things where it's like I have absolutely no knowledge of these songs. I got no connection to this guy. I know the name Tim McGraw, and that's it. But let's go. And it kind of confirmed again that, like when I saw Train or when I saw Bryan Adams, it doesn't have to be somebody that I necessarily love. A concert is just a good time. So let that be the lesson of the summer 2019. As we look back on these months that we've lived our lives on, let's look back and say, what have we learned? We've learned that going to concerts is fun.
It was very, very sweet of him to buy the tickets because I knew that he didn't know any of his songs. He doesn't like country music, so it was a very, very sweet gesture for him to do that for me. So you get a free concert. Whoever you want to see that I don't like. We can go to Rush. I'll sit through a Rush concert with you.
Rush isn't touring anymore, but we'll use that as your credit.
If they were.
You offered to go see Rush. They're not touring. You got out of jail free.
Ah, yes. And Tim McGraw, I mean, he's got to be pushing 60, but he does not look like it at all. Would you agree?
This is making me uncomfortable. This interview is over.
Woo!
Yeah. Hey.
You know, listen, it sounded like Steve and I were disappointed. Stephen Rudd, my friend, not Steve, my brother. Sounded like Steve and I were disappointed with the Rolling Stones, and we weren't. We just had a lot of thoughts and feelings about it. It was a great show. Yeah. But listening back,
it's funny because you guys
like
went into the show being like, I don't really care about the Rolling Stones. I like them, but whatever. And then you left, you're like, how could they?
I know. But really, I did miss them like talking. It was just boom, 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 you know.
Yeah.
But it was a great time. We really did have a good time. It was a whirlwind. Do you have a favorite?
Of the bands I saw?
Best show that you saw this summer, yeah.
I guess the best concert overall would have to go to the Goo Goo Dolls Train combo. So I enjoyed seeing Billy Idol and seeing Weird Al was really cool for me.
Yeah.
But I think like the best show I saw all year was Goo Goo Dolls and
and that was the one I missed. But I saw Goo Goo Dolls and Shays last year.
I didn't see Rolling Stones.
No, you didn't.
You know what?
I think
we both have different qualities about ourselves.
True.
But when you put them together,
that's true.
It makes like a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich.
Huh. That's not good.
Huh.
Can we do peanut butter banana? was good enough for Elvis. I think probably the one that's most memorable was the Rolling Stones, and
Right.
I'm really
Sure.
glad to have seen that because I wanted to for years and years and years.
Right.
I think I was most pleasantly surprised by Weird Al because I
Uh-huh.
went into that and kind of like whatever, but I ended being like, wow, Weird Al, everyone.
Yeah.
Definitely the most surreal was Brian Wilson,
It had to
but
be, yeah, sure.
overall, just a really fun summer. Thanks
Yeah.
to all of our friends and family for joining the podcast as
Yeah.
we talked about these
Did any
over
of the
course of
shows
several months.
Did any of the shows you saw this summer like make it into your top of all time concerts that you've seen?
Oh
Well,
boy,
the summer of '69.
That's-
summer.
that's a
of
tricky question.
2019.
I mean, the Rolling Stones just
All right.
de facto have
Sure.
to be in there. There's
Okay.
no way around it. That was,
Right.
I mean, I mentioned this in the clip there, but I mean, just seeing that,
Yeah.
seeing something like that like you've just known your whole life, and
Yeah.
seeing it up there, it was cool. It was definitely something that I will remember forever.
Wow.
So a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I guess that's it for our concert episode.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to be talking about Mark Twain.
Yeah.
And
Also, sort of a rock star of his own.
I guess he's a literary
Yeah.
rock star. I promise not to only talk about the 2-part Next Gen episode Times Arrow that features Mark Twain.
Okay.
But you're crazy if you think that's not coming
Right.
up.
We'll talk a lot about Vanilla Ice playing him in the Ridiculous Six Adam Sandler movie.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's another tough one.